Back, I now recognize Mr. Meuser for great state of Pennsylvania for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thanks very much to our witnesses and particularly to our veterans. Thank you for your service very much. Yeah, like many, I have 45,000 veterans throughout my district. Many of them are entrepreneurs. We certainly want strong transition support, reduce burdens on regulations, and ensure access to capital. You know, in my former business, we did our best to hire veterans. I mean, many businesses do. You go in, you see their support and their programs, and they talk about it. They kind of, boast about it, which is great. You know, we want more of that. Nevertheless, I do sense, even though the dedication is clear from all of you and your care for our veterans, I also sense frustration. So, our government is bureaucratic. So we're really dealing with two agencies, I guess, right? SBA and Veterans Administration. We got Kelly Loeffler there at SBA, and we got Doug Collins, who's a former member, a good friend of all of ours, as the VA Secretary. We should be able to make some improvements here moving forward. So as I'm asking you questions, please just tell me what you want to do, what needs to be done. If you were here, what would you be doing? And as a priority to help tap, like for instance, Mr. Schmegel, Colonel Schmegel, you mentioned that TAP is broken. Well, TAP is a pretty viable, or no, it actually doesn't sound viable, but it listed as an important program. Maybe you can describe what we need to fix it.
I think we need to start why it's broken. Think about a service member at the end of their service. You don't have a captive audience. In 5 days, you're jamming a bunch of information to an audience that's not really listening,
right,
and they have no context. How are they supposed to understand the fundamentals of owning a small business or in a gig economy, what job to have? We should be asking them fundamental questions so they discover for themselves, what brings me joy? What is my purpose? And what does my community need from me? Or how can I make money or make an impact with the next chapter of my life? They should ask themselves, what are the 5 things they need to thrive? In transition, we're just talking about education, benefits, and employment in a gig economy, instead of encouraging them to get these 5 things. Outside of meaningful employment, the second thing is a sense of purpose through continued service. The third is a connected community or a tribe. The fourth is good health outcomes, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. And the fifth is the kit bag, those things they need to constantly seek self-improvement so that they understand the strengths that they have and they apply those strengths going forward. All the other stuff that's part of a 5-day course is going right over their heads. So we need to prepare them with the fundamental questions that they have in their lives to succeed.
Are those departments within the VA and SBA sufficiently supported, funded? They have enough people in PAPS?
I think the programs are
some of that.
I think the programs are funded well. Where I think the common theme today that you heard was access to capital. Instead of investing taxpayer dollars in things that are not having the impact, as we see veteran small businesses decline, use some of that capital, or use some of the funding to provide more access to capital.
Okay, Ms. Fox, excuse me, thank you. On access to capital, let's focus there. I'm on financial services. Access to capital is, should be a specialty for small businesses. Tell me what problems there are and what you think we should do to make it better.
Thank you for that question. 37% of veteran entrepreneurs basically say that access to capital is a barrier for them. And if you look at it, typically they'll need about $50,000 to start a business, but they're going to their personal savings. They're going to those areas instead of loans. And why? Because as we look at TAP, we're not setting a solid foundation in terms of credit repair. What do you need to do to be successful so that you can then go start your business? And I said earlier, when we solve for transition, we'll get there. 43% of veterans say we have a tough time with transition. And if you think about it, when someone gets out and they're looking at what their options are, we have more corporate hiring programs.
Do you have community banks cooperation?
They do, yes, but 66% of veterans do not know about CDFIs or any of those options as well. So the issue is not just access, it's readiness.
All right, thank
So-
you. Mr. LaFaber, last word. I only have 15 seconds left on access to capital.
Yes, sir, I appreciate it. The only thing that I would continue is in the rest of my testimony is continuity across the entire continuum. It is not just about startups and access to capital at the front end. It also includes exit. The SBA 7A loan with a limit of $5 million from a loan is not going to help a veteran that actually wants to pay that forward to another veteran internally. If you're trying to look at avenues outside of private equity or some venture capital firm.
Looking to raise that up. So thank you all very much. I
Thank you, sir.
appreciate it. And again, thank you for your service.